All right, today we're not going to solve a single math problem. No, we're going to do something much, much more valuable. We are going to decode the strategy behind one of India's toughest entrance exams, the Combined Defense Services Mathematics paper. So if you're ready to think like a strategist and not just a mathematician, let's dive right in.
So this is the arena. 100 questions, only 120 minutes. I mean, you do the math on that. It's just 72 seconds per question. The pressure is absolutely astronomical. This isn't just about finding X or Y. It's about holding your nerve when every single second counts.
So, how in the world do you tackle this thing? Well, we have a 5-point mission plan. We'll start with the most important rule of the game, then do a super fast recon of the topics you'll face. After that, we'll go up against the infamous geometry gauntlet, learn how to read the story in the charts, and finally, we'll sharpen our ultimate weapon, strategy.
First up, the gateway. To even have a fighting chance here, you have to understand that this exam isn't just about how good you are at math. It's a game with a very specific set of rules, and one of them changes everything.
Now, if you zoom in on these instructions, I mean, who really reads these, right? But buried in the text is rule number 10. It's just sitting there in plain sight, but ignoring it is the absolute fastest way to fail. This one rule dictates your entire approach to the test.
And this is it, the game changer. Every single wrong answer doesn't just score you 0. No, it actively works against you. It literally takes marks away from your total score.
It's called negative marking. And what this means is that your first strategic decision on every single question is not, how do I solve this, but should I even attempt this? A confident guess might be a calculated risk, but a wild guess? That's just self-sabotage. Knowing when to retreat is just as important as knowing when to attack.
Okay, let's move to our next section. Now that we know the stakes, what kind of mathematical firepower are you actually dealing with? Let's take a lightning-fast tour through the exam's core concepts. You might want to buckle up. This goes fast.
You start out with the absolute fundamentals. Question 1 hits you with prime factors, pure, clean number theory. This is the warm-up, It's designed to test your core knowledge right out of the gate.
But you can't get comfortable. Just 10 questions later, the ground completely shifts under your feet. Now, you're in the trenches of algebra, solving quadratic equations. That's a totally different part of your math playbook.
And before you can even catch your breath, you're at question 20, staring down logarithms. So think about that. In the span of about 25 minutes, the exam has tested arithmetic, algebra, and advanced functions. The sheer range they expect you to have mastered is just immense.
And now, we enter what, for so many people, is the most daunting part of this paper, the geometry gauntlet. This isn't just about memorizing formulas. It's a brutal test of your ability to see, to manipulate, and to reason with shapes inside your own head.
And this slide just perfectly illustrates the climb. Look at the difference. On the left, you've got that clean, simple prime factor question. On the right, you've got a monster. It's a single question that demands you understand triangles, circle theorems, and the relationships between them all at once. This is where those precious minutes just vanish into thin air.
The scope here is just huge. You need instant recall of triangle and circle properties. You need to be fluent in trigonometry. You need to visualize 3D shapes in their volumes. And you need the speed to calculate areas without a second thought. This section doesn't just test what you know, it tests how well you can connect all these different concepts under pressure.
But it's not all abstract theory. A really crucial part of the exam shifts gears completely, testing a different skill, your ability to pull meaning out of data. This is all about finding the story that's hidden inside the charts and graphs.
So take these pie charts. They're showing employee distribution. The questions here won't be about complex geometry. They're going to ask you to compare things, to calculate percentages, to spot trends. They're testing if you can quickly understand the narrative. How did this organization change between these 2 years?
It's the exact same idea here with this bar chart on car production. A quick glance gives you the numbers, sure, but the real skill is seeing the pattern instantly. Is the growth speeding up? Was there a slump somewhere? This is more about analytical reading than it is about number crunching.
Let's just animate this to make it super obvious. When you strip away all the extra noise, the core story is one of consistent growth. Seeing that big picture in just a matter of seconds is how you conquer these questions and save that precious time for those geometry monsters we saw earlier. Okay, so we've seen the battlefield, we've scouted the enemy's tactics. Now let's forge our weapon. How do you actually pull all of this together into a winning strategy?
Well, it boils down to 3 simple commands. First, relentless time management. 72 seconds is your baseline. If a question is taking longer, you have to have the discipline to mark it and just move on. Second, smart question selection. Don't attack the paper in order from 1 to 100. Your first 30 minutes should be a blitz, hunting for the easy wins, the questions you know you can solve fast. And third, the prime directive. Respect the negative marking. Every answer has to be a confident one. If it's not, leaving it blank is a strategic victory.
And that's really the heart of it all. Getting into the defense services through this exam isn't about being a human calculator. It's about being a strategist, a tactician who can manage resources, your knowledge, your time, and your own nerve under the most intense pressure imaginable.
So before we finish up, let's put it to the test. I'm going to leave you with a classic problem that perfectly captures everything we've just talked about. A mix of math, logic, and, yeah, the pressure of the clock.
Here you go. The clock is literally ticking. Can you solve it in 72 seconds? Do you jump straight to a formula, or do you try to visualize it first to estimate the answer? And most importantly, if you felt even a moment of doubt, would you have the discipline to skip it and move on? Your answer to that question, well, that's how you crack the code.